This is the new Hyundai Ioniq 6N, and it's the Korean brand's most focused performance car ever. It borrows technology from the Ioniq 5N, but also adds new driving modes, upgrades and features that could make this one of the most exciting electric cars on sale. I'm Matt Watson, and you're watching CarWow. Hyundai has made some pretty huge visual changes for this new Ioniq 6N. The ultra-thin daytime running lights are shared with the recently facelifted Ioniq 6, but the whole front bumper design is completely new. There's a lower front splitter, new grills and extra intakes, including these winglets ahead of the front wheels. These funnel air through small gaps in the bodywork, which, along with new side skirts, helps to smooth airflow down the side of the car. But the biggest aerodynamic upgrade is the massive rear wing and new ducktail spoiler on the boot lid. The wing uses gooseneck supports that mount to the wing's upper surface rather than underneath, just like on the new Porsche 911 GT3 and GT3 RS. This balances the extra downforce created by the new front splitter, but in a way that minimises drag. There's also a rear diffuser that Hyundai claims makes the car more stable at high speeds. And these new alloy wheels have been designed to cut through the air as cleanly as possible, although the holes cast into each of the 10 spokes are only there to reduce weight and look good. Hyundai hasn't announced how much this new car weighs, but don't expect it to be that much lighter than all-wheel drive versions of the Ioniq 6. Those tip the scales at almost 2.1 tonnes. However, this new N version has almost double the power you get in today's most powerful Ioniq 6, but more on that later. Hyundai hasn't gone crazy with the new Ioniq 6's interior, but it has given it a few fancy upgrades in the same vein as the Ioniq 5N. You'll spot black sport seats and plenty of N badges, along with blue and red highlights to match the signature N colours. But overall, the basic design is very similar to the standard car. It has the same broad dashboard, simple centre console and dual screen infotainment system, but there are a couple of very exciting buttons on the steering wheel that I'll explain later. Some brands, such as Mercedes, have fitted selfie cameras in their cars that allow you to make video calls, while parked, of course. Hyundai has gone down a very different route. It's fitted a dedicated action camera mount in the headlining. Now you can easily record your track days without faffing around with wobbly camera mounts. Genius. And there are a few more features that will definitely make you want to take this EV on track. Instead of the current range-topping Ioniq 6's tame 325 horsepower dual motor setup, this N version gets a heart transplant from the Ioniq 5N. This means you get two motors that produce a combined 650 horsepower and 770 Newton meters in boost mode. This power isn't always split evenly between the two motors though. The rear motor's maximum output is 412 horsepower, while the front can deploy 236 horsepower. So the Ioniq 6N should be more tail happy in maximum attack mode than your average four-wheel drive electric car. And that's before you get to Hyundai's completely re-engineered drift mode. More on that soon. Battery technology is usually the least exciting bit of a new electric performance car, but not this time. Hyundai has written new software for the 84 kWh battery that cool it to different temperatures depending on what sort of track day you like to do. Endurance mode keeps the battery temperature between 10 and 20 degrees centigrade, so it won't overheat during extended track sessions on long circuits with lots of hard acceleration and heavy regen braking. Sprint mode is better suited to time trials or sprint circuits, where the battery has a chance to naturally cool down between short sessions. But my favourite is drag mode. Obviously, this allows the battery to reach between 30 and 40 degrees to maximise its power delivery, but it can only do this for short periods, such as the 10 to 15 seconds it takes to cover a standing quarter mile. But what sort of performance can this car deliver? Well, if you enable the rather awkwardly named N-Grin Boost, using one of the new steering wheel buttons, the Ioniq 6N will blast from 0 to 100 km an hour in 3.2 seconds. That's similar to the Ioniq 5N. Now, I've already raced that car against some serious internal combustion engine sports cars, including the Lamborghini SV, Audi RS7 and AMG GT. And here's what happened. I'll be very interested to see whether the Ioniq 6N can perform even better. But there's one thing standing in the way of using a high-performance electric car on track. and that's its range. Hyundai claims the Ioniq 6N has 469 kilometers of range, but on track you'll be lucky to manage a quarter of that distance before needing to recharge, and that's the issue. You see, internal combustion engines have pretty awful fuel consumption on track too, but at least refueling only takes a couple of minutes. Electric cars though, they take longer to charge, even at super fast chargers. However, Hyundai is trying to solve this problem. Firstly, the Ioniq 6N is compatible with 350 kilowatt chargers, which can charge the battery from 10% to 80% full in just 18 minutes. And secondly, and most importantly of all, Hyundai is building its own fast charging stations at racetracks, starting with the Inji Speedium circuit in South Korea and the Nürburgring in Germany. You might find yourself needing to charge more often in this car than the Ioniq 5N, because Hyundai has reprogrammed this car's boost mode. Now it can automatically engage whenever the battery is ready, so you'll have regular 40 horsepower bursts without having to spam the Too Soon Junior button. Too soon, Junior. The N-Active sound tech has been remixed, literally, to make it sound different from the Ioniq 5N. And the new N-E-Shift feature, which imitates gear changes in a high-performance internal combustion engine car, has also been given a makeover. It still has 8 pseudo gears like the 5N, but unlike in that car, it works with launch control, and it can be used in any of the car's driving modes, including Eco and Drift. Speaking of which, the new Ioniq 6N comes with a drift mode, but it's very different to the one in the Ioniq 5N. If you wanted to slide that car around, once you'd found a suitable private location of course, you had 2 options. 1, turn the wheel, accelerate and let the computers work out all the tricky stuff, or 2, switch the stability control off and do everything yourself. This was good for beginners, and the latter was good for pros, but neither were great for people in between. Hyundai has revamped the whole system and added 3 customizable settings. Now you can dial back how much assistance the car gives you in 3 key areas: lift-off oversteer, drift angle and wheel spin. Are most Ioniq 6N buyers ever going to use this? Probably not, but it's a good thing that Hyundai is trying to make electric cars fun. And the fun-focused modifications aren't limited to geeky software. This new M model also comes with front and rear torque vectoring, a limited slip rear differential and lowered stiffened suspension. This has been fitted with new springs, modified shock absorbers and new anti-roll bars, all designed to make it easier to control at the limits of grip. But it doesn't stop there. Hyundai has also been developing a more extreme version of the new Ioniq 6N, just like it did with the DK edition of the Ioniq 5N. That car came with new brakes, wheels, modified suspension and redesigned aero, and it was developed by the Drift King himself. Hyundai hasn't confirmed what parts will be available for this upgraded Ioniq 6N, but you can bet there'll be a new double-layered rear wing, wider wheels and tyres, upgraded brakes and retuned suspension. Hyundai hasn't confirmed how much the new Ioniq 6N will cost, but when you consider the 5N cost from just over £65,000, it's likely the 6N with its numerous upgrades will set you back slightly more, maybe even £70,000. I hope you'll enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a like. Let me know what you think of it in the comments below. If you want to watch some more videos, I've picked a couple out for you there. I think you'll like. Just click on those windows to watch them. Or if you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe to this channel. You can do that just by hitting the carwow logo there. Simple.